Hi everybody, welcome back to Amanda's Crafting Studio. We just finished a really fun tablescape. It was kind of a ghost and goblin candy table, and that is on my YouTube channel as well as my IGTV. So what we're gonna do now is do a ghost and goblin kind of wreath. I'm really excited because I love this whole monochromatic thing going on right now, and I fell in love with these ghosts from Michaels. So that kind of set the tone and the theme for my Halloween this year. So let's get started. Okay, so first what we're going to do is I bought this fabulous wreath at Michaels, and we're going to fluff it. If you remember some of my other videos that we've done where you take a wreath and you really need to, when you first get it from the store, take time to fluff it. That's really important, and it'll just make your wreath look newer and fuller. So I've done most of it already. I'll just finish up a little bit here. So the base is black, and it's this fabulous black chenille, and I have fluffed everybody here. Okay. Now what I wanted to do, because the ghosts need to kind of flow in around this wreath, I didn't want to hot glue them directly. I thought it'd be fun if we attached a branch. That way we can have a ghost hanging here and a ghost hanging here. So when you use these wire wreaths like this, it makes our job real easy. So I'm just going to lay that branch across here, and I'm going to use two of the chenilles and twist. Okay, it's that easy. I don't even think I'll hot glue. I'll just kind of find a spot here where the branch meets the main form. Take two pieces of that wreath and twist it on really tight. Just keep twisting till you feel like that branch is secure. I don't want the branch to go 12 and 6. I kind of want it to go at an angle. So be sure you kind of lay that at an angle. Once it is connected, go ahead and spread out the branches. Most of these, and this one I get from Michaels, is really good quality. So it's got a thick wire in there, and it will bend the way you want it. So we don't want this branch to go up and down. We want it, or side to side, definitely not that. So kind of at an angle, if you can see here. Okay, so our next step is let's make those bows. So in my previous, I won't go into bow making right now. If you watch my July 4th wreath, you'll see I kind of go into bow making as well as wrapping your wire in tape. So be sure if you need more instruction on this, go back to one of those videos. I go in more detail. But I'm going to use this black and white stripe. Again, I got this ribbon at Michaels. And I'm going to make a very simple bow out of this number 40, and the number 40 just is in terms of the size of the ribbon, the width of the ribbon. Okay? And I want two little long streamers, not a lot of streamers, not like what we would do at Fiesta or July 4th. Okay? So that was this was one bolt at 12 feet, and I made this much of a bow. So I bought two bolts at Michaels. And again, I'll always use a tape wire for my bows. Twist it on. Okay, and so that meeting point, for the meeting point where the branch meets the wreath, at this step I'm going to tie on that bow. So wrap it around and then twist those two wires behind. Really twisting, get that on tight. Okay? And then I want you to pull some of that ribbon down and through the chenille, and then bring some of that chenille. I mean, I'm aggressive with it because I want the bow to look like it's part of the wreath and not necessarily, I don't want it to stick out like it's just placed on top. And I see that a lot. And it's just an easy thing to fix. So really get that bow in. Now this one feels a little loose, so I am going to add some hot glue. Just again at that meeting point, wherever that ribbon is touching anything solid or that's sturdy, just attach it right there. Okay. Okay, so we're at this stage now. Next, I'm going to create a little bow that's going to go behind this section right here. So I've got my second bolt, and Michael's always has this ribbon on sale, and if you can't find it, just look over in the seasonal section. You'll see I love Michael's ribbon. It's good quality, and it's not, this was $5, and when you have a coupon, I mean, you can get it down to dollars. So I'm gonna go ahead and add streamers to this bow. I might cut them off later. And again, so that bolt did one bow with streamers. Okay. So go ahead and cut this. We'll clean up these streamers after a while. Let's just get this part made. Okay. Now, instead of coming in front, I think I'm going to come behind. Or what, better yet, let's do it this way. I think instead of coming from behind or sitting right on top, I'm going to come behind that branch and find the thickest part of the wreath and wire it on and secure it on. And we use taped wires because they hold. A regular wire without tape won't hold, it'll slip and slide. Okay, so instead of putting it directly on top, I kind of came from behind that branch, okay? That's the secret, because we don't want to lose this line. Our eye needs to follow that line, okay? So again, I'm going to probably get rid of some of this streamer. I'm not sure yet. Actually, I think I will right now. And cut a dovetail and come behind this branch with your ribbon and let it fall in between the wreath like that. Now why I did that is I felt like I could use a little piece of ribbon right here. So let me just make a little extra loop or two, and it can be a loop with two tails. Fine, just a little hint of that ribbon at the top. That's all we're looking for. Okay. When you're looking for gauge wire and bows, I like to use the 21, which is a thinner wire, or go up to, and 18's kind of thick, so stick with that 20 or 21. Okay, so there, just a little bit of extra, and then dovetail that ribbon. And dovetail just means you cut it, you fold it in half like that, and you cut it at an angle, and it gives you a natural dovetail, okay? So you should be at this point right now. Okay, so next, because we need other textures here, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna add some of the foliage I got at, this is the Halloween foliage from Michael's. It's $4, and I'm sure I didn't pay that. I never pay full price at Michael's. They always have the most fabulous coupons. So we're just gonna come in here, and same technique, I'm just gonna use one of those chenille and wrap it around the stem of that. Then I don't even have to use any hot glue. So come from the middle and wrap the chenille around the stem of the oak leaf, because that's what these are. These are fabulous oak leaf. So I'll continue to do this and get it really full. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add one more. That means I used a total of 2 black oak leaf branches from Michael's, and I really like the way it looks. It looks really full. And again, just attaching means I lay it where I want it to go, and I take whatever free chenille is there, and it's just wrapping it around like you would around your finger, just taking a chenille and wrapping around the main stem of the oak leaf. But look at the difference that it made just in fullness, right? And if you don't feel good about something, like it just doesn't feel secure, go ahead and then wire it. Like I feel like this one behind here isn't secure, so I am gonna wire that in place. I use Surebonder hot glue gun, which is the best, in my opinion, the best glue gun. It gets really hot. I actually use this mini Surebonder. When hot glue falls, like say you have a wreath and it's coming apart, it's generally because your hot glue was not hot enough. But you won't have that problem with Surebonder. It gets really hot. So don't worry about putting stuff outside when you use the Surebonder glue gun because it is the bomb. Okay, so next we're gonna add, okay, so let me show you real quick. So here we are. See the fullness? See how much fuller it looks just adding those 2 branches of fall leaves from Michael's. Love, love, love. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and attach our ghost. Let's cut off that little loop. And what I'm going to do is, see this point right here? I'm gonna glue his little head right in the center, and I'm gonna make sure it's facing the right way. Okay, so let's get our ghost there. Put a lot of hot glue on his little head and hold that down for a minute. And then we'll do a second one up here. And I really like this little guy's face. What's cute is they have bendable arms, so once we get him hung, we'll be able to play with his arms a little bit. Okay, so I think the second one will go right in, I'm thinking right here, and I'll show you a little trick. So we want him to look like he's part of this wreath. So I'm gonna go ahead and hot glue him as well, right here. Now while he's drying, I'm gonna pull one of those little branches in front and his little arm behind, so he looks like he's part of the wreath and not just stuck on. Okay, and then pull out one of his armature arms, his little arms, out right there. Okay, so we have our 2 ghosts attached, and they're kind of following the line of the ribbon. So we have a lot of white now. We're gonna add our pumpkins, and again, I'm just gonna hot glue them in different spots. Now, I took these pumpkins from Michael's. They were kind of an off-white in the fall section. I painted them with acrylic paint and gave them different designs. Actually, when I do dots or spots, I don't even paint them with my hand. I use a little sponge brush that is the size of dot or spot I want. And then I'm just gonna add a lot of hot glue. And I'm gonna add it, I left about 1 inch of the stem on there just for, just so it has something to attach to. Okay. And I'll go ahead and add the other ones here. So we've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the medium-sized pumpkins. Again, I painted these using acrylic folk art paint from Michael's, and I just follow the natural line of the pumpkin for the stripes. And then for the spots, I just used a sponge brush. I got at Michael's. It's kind of like a spongy, and it's in a circle spongy brush, and I dipped it in the black and then dipped it and then painted the little stalks of the pumpkin. So here we are at this stage. My next little fella I'm gonna add are these adorable mummies. These save the black and white theme to me, and they're just gonna poke right in like that all over, and I'll bend it at first, and then I'll use a little Sure Bond hot glue right behind him. I love using the mini hot glue, but I tell you, I feel like I'm always changing sticks. So look how I kind of did him sitting up, We don't want him, I don't know, he could lay on his side, but we'll just have him, and I pull that one out. So he's sitting in there, and then I just love these, so I have 3 of these. And we'll do another one right here. So push that stem through, get it in there, and bend the back piece and use extra support with the hot glue. Probably right in here, sticking out. So because he's not in the background, I'm going to he's not attached to a leaf or anything, I'm going to really put a lot of glue on that pick, hoping that pick adheres to something, and it normally does. But he's friends with this ghost now, so look, they're buds or boyfriend, girlfriend, I don't know. So there we go. Okay, so on to our next thing. I haven't quite used this third ghost, and I might not, and that's okay, is I fell in love with this cute little vintage ghost from Michael's. He's got a newspaper body and little beads for legs, and I think they had this line last year, and it must have done really well because they brought it back. So we are just going to put him right there, and honestly, we're going to put a lot of glue, and he is just going to glue on right there. Okay, so we've gotten this far, so next we're going to add our boo. I love the banners that are already made at the Martha Stewart section at Michael's. It's these black banners. I think they have them in white and blue and green, but I picked up the black one, and I just cut out a bigger rectangle of gingham, and then I used my Cricut to make the vinyl BOO. And then I string it with some ribbon and then add some bows, and now we'll attach it. So it's finding that right spot, not worry too much about what I'm covering up, because we'll kind of work that in and out. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is, because the banner is a little bit too big, I'll cut out those V's at the bottom and just give it a little bit more where you can see the wreath. Does that make sense? And so we'll just kind of clean that up a little bit, and then it's not in the way of the ghost. Okay, that's it, everybody. So happy Halloween. If you enjoyed today's DIY and want to see more, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also follow me on Instagram at Amanda Barkley Floral and Facebook at Amanda Barkley Freelance Florist. Please leave a comment or hit like if you enjoyed today's video, and hope to see you soon. Happy Halloween.